I got to fix the mold half. If you saw my other video, I actually I couldn't get enough plastic into the mold, so this time I got to machine the other mold half, and this should fix it. Hopefully, we'll see. Everything's already programmed. I'm just gonna do a live machining just so you guys can check it out, kind of see my process and how I do things. The machine's already on, and what I need to do is actually find. Um, Actually, I'm going to put in a cutter. The first cutter. Let's check it out here. So if you guys want to see my screen here, this is my MR1. So I'm going to open up. Let's go op1. So looking at my G code, I see that I have a 1/4 inch flat end mill right there. And it's going to do that type of tool path. Actually, let's see here. Yeah, that's kind of what I need. Yeah, so we're going to add a 1/4 inch end mill, a flat end mill in here. And let me go grab that real quick. So a 1/4 inch. All right, so I'm using a 2-flute carbide end mill. And I had a viewer let me know that the runout didn't look right. And this machine's only about a year old. So I'm thinking maybe the problem is I might have had some debris in the collet nut. So I'm going to take a paper towel, just try to clean out as much as I can, and I'm going to blow it out. I have a blowgun to clean it out. So maybe that'll sit flat, because if you have some material inside your collet nut here, the collet is not going to sit flat. And I can see some debris coming out of there, so maybe that was a problem. Just tapping the collet. So here's a collet, it's a 1/4 inch. And here's a collet nut. And here we go, snap together. And let's move the spinner over here so you guys can see it. All right, let me put it up there. Okay, so I'm gonna get maybe some debris in here. Get that out of there. Okay, that's good. Blow it off. All right, that should work. I'm just gonna put on just a little bit. And where did I put my end? Oh, right here. Okay. So yeah, I'm using a 2-flute carbide 1/4 inch end mill. And let's see here. Go in here. So rule of thumb, you want to put this end mill in as far as you can. Because if you stick it out too far, you're going to get chatter on the side of your parts. You're going to get some tool marks that bounce around it. Also, if you do have some run out in your spindle, you're going to see a lot more chatter marks, and the surface finish is not going to be as good. So you want to keep it relatively as far in. But what I did was I actually I glued in these pins right here, so I can match up the mold halves. I want to avoid that, so I want to compensate for how far I bring this out of here. So I'm going to keep it out slightly longer than I should or could, just so I don't run this collet nut into that pin there. So I'm going to, that looks, I'm only going down about 75 thousandths of an inch, and that's maybe 300 thousandths up. So that should be plenty. So, and a good tip for you guys, if you've got these wrenches for the collet nuts, I actually tape magnets on here. So if I put it there, it's not going to move. It actually magnets itself, I guess that's the word, to the side. So I only need one hand, right, to tighten this thing up. So actually the other way over here. All right. Sorry guys, I'm bouncing this thing around, trying to get you guys a good view here. Yeah. So, hey, 67, what's going on? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. I'm just doing a live CNC. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing good. I don't know if you saw my video the other day. I did a mold. Let me grab that real quick. Right here. So I did a video of this mold that I did, and it's supposed to be for a TPU cable tie. And when it's done, I'm gonna plastic injection mold it. That'll be in another video. But right now, I have to machine the other side, and because I was getting not enough plastic in here. It's called a short shot. Basically, it was filling up about this much, and it was stopping because this gate was too small, and also the air vents on the side were too small. But what I'm going to do is actually machine the other side. Right now, it's just flat, just to give me some more room to put some plastic in there. So hopefully this works. But all right. So first thing I did, I tightened down my my 1/4-inch end mill. Now I got to touch it off. So what I use is these little shims. This one is 2/1000ths of an inch. Okay. So when I touch off my my material, it should be working. I don't know if you guys ever. Here it goes. Okay. Move it over there. And I use the bottom left corner of my part, and I'm gonna slow it down so I don't break this thing. Slow it down. So I'm gonna touch off the left side first. So this is my x-axis. So bring it pretty slow, move it in. Okay, pretty close, and then I'm going to do it incrementally. So this is a 1/2 thou that I'm gonna move it in there. So I'm just gonna click it over till it's out, till I feel some pressure on there. Okay, and that's there. So this end mill is actually off half of the size of the end mill, right? So it's 125 plus 2/1000ths. So I'm gonna add on my x-axis, and I'm in G54 by the way. So my x-axis, I'm gonna type in negative 0.027. I'm sorry, 0.127. There it goes. All right. So my x-axis is negative 1/27 off of that edge right there. So what I'm going to do is actually get this out of here first. And I want to show you something real quick. Continue. Okay. Now I'm going to move it down to the edge and move it in to where it looks basically on the edge right there. And let me click it over. Right about there. So that, if I'm looking at it, that end mill looks basically halfway into my material in the X direction. And you can see I zeroed it out, and it looks like I did it right. So, okay. So my G54X is set. I'm going to rotate this around so I get the closest cutter part, or the closest flute to the material. So now I can do my Y. Oops. I'm going to do my Y. Going really slowly into it a little bit, and a little bit closer until I don't see too much light between there. And you want to just touch the, where did I put my station? Oh, did I drop it? Oh, here it is. All right, you just want to see a little bit of light in between there, and then you're going to slowly click it over, like drag this between there, kind of keep moving your finger a little bit, and just back it into the material, just very slowly, one click at a time, until you feel it grab. And there it is. Okay, it's grabbed. So now I'm half the diameter of the tool plus 2/1000ths. So now I'm gonna put in my Y axis. It's actually there because my Y was set up. So it's roughly negative 126. Let me do exact. Negative 0.127. All right, enter. So now my Y is set, okay? So now, since I changed my tool, I've got to set up my Z-axis. So let me get this out of there and bring it up. Somewhere in the middle. Now I gotta set my Z-axis for my tool and bring this down a little bit. All right, very close. Okay. Just make sure there's a little bit of light, and then I can click it down slowly. Do that here. So now I'm gonna do it with the other hand so you guys can see it. So I can fit my spacer underneath here. I'm just gonna click it down till it grabs. Let me see if you guys can see it. Click it down till it grabs. And almost, I hear it clicking. And it grabbed right there. Okay, cool. So now my Z is set. And I'm gonna go here and type in 0.002 because that's the thickness of my shim. And now my X, Y, and Z is set. Now, very importantly, if you guys are gonna do this, make sure you lift the spindle off of your material before you hit start, okay? Because you don't want to have to hurry up and stop it because you accidentally calculated something. It gives you more time to react, basically. So anyway, I think the 1/4 inch is set up. Let me get it started here for you guys so you can see it and just get myself ready too. Okay, that's ready. Let me flip on the spindle power and make sure it works. Let me turn on the spindle. Yep. All right, cool. And if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's see. XYZ is set. Let's go ahead and hit start. I'm going to slow down the speed rate because I don't want to dig in too far into my material. Too fast. see how that looks. All right, so the first operation is done. So let's go ahead and change out the end mill to our next one, which I believe is an 1/8 inch. Let's go send the front. All right. So again, if you guys weren't here earlier, a tip is to put a magnet on this wrench here. So when you go ahead and try to change out your tool, it sticks to the side right there. So you don't have to have two hands taking out your tool here. So let's go ahead and take this out. And I'm gonna switch it to an 1/8 inch cutter. And again, another viewer was saying that, hey, looks like your run out is pretty bad. And what I would say is I could have had some material inside the collet nut or on the collet, which was throwing off my run out. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of clean out the collet nut, make sure that there's no debris in there. It looks like there was a little bit in there, so that could have been the problem. Yeah, a little bit of junk in there. Blow it out now. Oh. And let me clean out the collet. All right. So now this is an 1/8 inch collet and collet nut. I'm going to use a 2-flute carbide end mill. Let's see, where is that? That's a ball nose. Hold on a second, guys. Put it down here. That's yep, 2-flute 1/8 inch end mill. So kind of finger tighten that in there. Okay, cool. So now since I touched off X and Y, since I'm changing my tool, always remember to change your Z value on your cutter, or else you're gonna mess something up potentially. So, all right, where is my wrench? Okay. So, well, the magnet was supposed to stick. There it goes. Tighten this up. Okay. So tight. Okay, let's go ahead and touch off the end mill there. Bring it down to where I touch off the top of the part. Slow that down a little bit. I don't want to crash into my material. Yeah, right there. That should be good. So again, I'm using this little shim, about 2/1000 of an inch. And I'm just going to touch it on the top of this here. Kind of go back and forth. It's a little low actually. Let's bring it up. Okay, so now it moves. What you want to do is put it to about a 1/2 thou every step. You just step down onto it, and that's tight right there. So that means my cutter is 2/1000 of an inch above my material. So I'm gonna put that into my controller. So my Z is set. Let me bring it up. Continuous. Pull this out of there. Now we're ready to put in our next operation, which is it's gonna clean up the edges of the one that I just did. So let's go ahead, and I think everything is ready to go. Here we go, the cycle start. That runout does look a little weird. I'm gonna have to check that. Nice and smooth. Cool. All right, so that should do it for that. I might have to do some manual cutting for the air gaps. Let me actually do that right now because I can see back where I injection molded it. Let me show you the other mold have. So right here where the plastic goes into, the corresponding piece, I could see where the bottom of this hole is. So I can just cut a slot straight through here, not going past the bottom of my mold here. So that's gonna give me more plastic flow into my mold. That should help me out a lot. So let's see, yeah, I cut it a little bit there. So if this is the half here, and it's gonna go over here, I'm gonna cut it down a little bit, to the right a little bit, and then down. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this manually. Flip on the spindle. Hopefully I don't mess this up, but I do, you have it on video, so it's a good learning experience for everybody. The way this is going is right there. All right, cool. Looks good to me. All right, cool. So that's basically what I wanted to do. Just do a really quick live video, show you guys what I was working on, and hopefully this works out because I really want this thing to work. So anyway, check back later. Actually, my next video will be me injection molding this, trying it out. It'll be hopefully be a successful attempt. Last time was a fail, but anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.